All right, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Executive Decisions. Your boy Corey Parsons, the fantasy executive, right here on the Executive Network. It is late August. Matter of fact, we are heading into the month of September. And obviously, you know what that means. This is the month where the NFL season starts. So before we get started, got plenty of football to talk about today. But I want everybody, after we watch the video and enjoy the content, when you go to leave your comments, got a couple things you got to do. First of all, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I also need you to subscribe to the executive newsletter. It's absolutely free. Subscription right here on YouTube is free. Subscription to the exec newsletter is free. Now, with the exec newsletter, what you'll get is next Sunday morning, we'll generate the executive rundown, and there you'll have plays for sports betting, underdog fantasy, whatever you like to do on Sundays to enjoy your wagertainment. We got you covered right there. So make sure that you sign up absolutely for free. The executive newsletter link is in the description. Also, the Survivor contest that I'm running, got to fill that up for Splash Sports. Now that right there is not free. It's only $25. You could win over $1,000. The very popular game, NFL Survivor Pool contest. So hit the link in the description. Like I said, free to subscribe to the YouTube channel, free to subscribe to the executive newsletter. Got a couple articles up there already. As a matter of fact, I got a pick for every week one game already listed up there. Now let's get ready to hop in there and talk about my bold predictions for the 2023 NFL season. And I want to start with a couple of quarterbacks who I think, before we even get into the quarterbacks, I want to start with Aaron Rodgers, because my first bold prediction of the 2023 NFL season is that Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets will win the AFC East, and the New York Jets will be the AFC East champions for the first time in God knows how long. Now, the roster is put together well. I like the defensive line. They got to be better on the trenches in the offensive side, but with Aaron Rodgers and the skill position talent they have on offense and the guys they have on defense, don't forget Quentin Williams, 30-1 to win Defensive Player of the Year. That's a move I'd make right there. At that price, he's going to have a great season, dominant three technique. So I like the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers to be the AFC East champion, dethroning the Buffalo Bills. Next bold prediction for the upcoming season, that the Buffalo Bills will not make the playoffs this year. That's right, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills will not make the playoffs this season. Good team, talented team, but listen, I think the loss of Brian Daboll factored in more than people expected. Josh Allen turning the ball over. And then plus, I just don't like the culture with the Buffalo Bills. They had that beef between Diggs and Allen to end last year, and it still carried on all the way into, to mini camps. I didn't like that. I think the culture is off in Buffalo. Von Miller starting the season on PUP is also something that I don't think is best for Buffalo. So I think the Bills need to do some soul searching, but I don't think they're a playoff team this year. Now, let's get to some more bold predictions for the upcoming NFL season. The Pittsburgh Steelers back in the playoffs, baby. Terrible towels waving. Pittsburgh Steelers back in the playoffs. You notice how Pittsburgh's win total went from 8.5 to 9.5? That's not sucker bet Pittsburgh Primanti Brothers eating sandwich Steeler fan jacking that number up. That's sharp money pushing that up. That's people who know how to bet NFL. And what they know is the Pittsburgh Steelers went 7-2 down the stretch last year. But everybody's talking about the Detroit Lions and how well they closed. But the Pittsburgh Steelers closed just as well. Kenny Pickett stepped it up. He turned around. Feel good about him and George Pickens coming into the season. And obviously, they have a Hall of Fame head coach on their sidelines. Now, the AFC, particularly the AFC North, is a tough division. But I look at the direction that the movement of the money is going in, and what I know about the NFL and football myself, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be a playoff team this season. Another bold prediction for the upcoming season. Let's go out west and talk about the Los Angeles Chargers. They are going to fire head coach Brandon Staley before the season ends. I don't think Brandon Staley makes it to the end of the season. Mr. 4th and 15 is going to get fired in season this year. I think he was lucky to be brought back after that debacle in Jacksonville, blowing that big lead. Hell, I think he was lucky to even get a second season with all the stupidness he does on fourth down. This ain't Madden, Staley. You got a great young quarterback in Justin Herbert. You got talented pieces on that team, but they can't make a deep run in the AFC because they got a jackass for the head coach. Brandon Staley fired in season. Now, hopefully, they don't give the job to Kellen Moore in the offseason because that'd be another disaster. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing either. But I do think Brandon Staley is going in season. Chargers not a playoff team this year. Check over at my list. Now, a couple quarterbacks that I don't think are going to see the end of the season as starting quarterbacks. And let's start with the team out there in Denver, the Denver Broncos. I don't think Sean Payton is in love with the idea of Russell Wilson being his starting quarterback. Not only is Russell Wilson a celebrity quarterback, you know the great Bill Parcells always says, be wary of the celebrity quarterback. But I just don't think he's good anymore. Remember when Andy Reid in Philadelphia pulled the fast one on the Redskins and traded them a washed-up Donovan McNabb? I think Pete Carroll pulled the fast one on the Denver Broncos and traded them a washed-up Russell Wilson. I think he gets benched this year, and I think in the offseason, the Denver Broncos are looking for a new quarterback. I got no idea who that quarterback may be. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So he goes to the bench this year. Russell Wilson out there in Denver. Broncos not a playoff team. Bet the under on the Broncos. Matthew Stafford benched during the regular season this year. Probably not a all-out benching because of poor play. I think an injury comes. And after the injury, I think Stetson Bennett takes over. I think Stetson Bennett is a better quarterback prospect than NFL draft evaluators thought. I think out there with Sean McVay and that offensive guru out there, I think they get the job done. I'm looking for Matthew Stafford to be benched for Stetson Bennett. I think Stafford is benched. I think Stafford gets hurt. He's benched. I think Bennett comes in, plays well, and keeps the job rest of the season. Matthew Stafford rides off into the sunset. Rams probably looking at the same potential quarterback that the Broncos are looking at. I know how Sean Payton get down. I know how Sean McVay get down. Sean McVay is only back for one reason, and I don't believe it's this season, but I'll tell you about that in a second. I also think that we see Kyler Murray play, not even play, has already played his last game as a member of the Arizona Cardinals. They gave him that big, stupid contract. He went out there, tore his ACL. They are clearly in tank mode. Josh Dobbs or Clayton Tune is going to be the week one starter for the Arizona Cardinals. They got their eye on Caleb Williams. I'll get to that in a minute. But I don't think Kyler Murray plays another snap for this football team. He misses all year this year, and in the offseason, they trade Kyler Murray. I think he's going. It's going to be hard to unload that terrible-ass contract, but you shouldn't have gave it to him. A guy on the Twitch stream more than he's in the playbook, but you gave him $46 million when you didn't have to. That's an embarrassment, and the Arizona Cardinals are going to pay for that. Now, my biggest bold prediction going into the 2023 NFL season has to do with the Dallas Cowboys. And oh my God, bias, homer. You know how I go with the Dallas Cowboys. I keep it a buck. I tell the truth all the time. Dak Prescott ain't shit. But the linebacker, the man, the myth, the legend, the lion, Micah Parsons, will be the first defensive player since Lawrence Taylor to win the NFL MVP award. Hop on those odds right now. Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboy linebacker extraordinaire, defender, edge rusher extraordinaire, will win this year's MVP award. It won't be Joe Burrow. It won't be Lamar Jackson. It will be Micah Parsons who wins the NFL MVP award this season. There you go right there. Those are my bold predictions for the upcoming NFL season. Micah Parsons wins the MVP. The New York Jets win the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills do not make the playoffs. Russell Wilson, benched. Matthew Stafford, benched. Pittsburgh Steelers, a playoff team. And Brandon Staley, fired in season. My bold predictions for the upcoming NFL season. as we get ready for this NFL season, there's an elephant in the room that nobody's really talking about out loud, but everybody is kind of looking around their corner, looking over their shoulders, because Caleb Williams is a thing. QB1, as I call him. If you don't know Caleb Williams, starting quarterback for USC, reigning Heisman Trophy winner, shortest odds to be the Heisman Trophy winner this year. He wins it twice. It'll be the first time that's done since Archie Griffin. This is not Tim Tebow. This is QB1. This is a guy who's going to come into the NFL and bring along a Patrick Mahomes type skill set. Now, the Arizona Cardinals are clearly tanking. I think the Rams go into the tank. I think the Broncos go into the tank as well. Now, I don't think Williams should end up in the AFC. Because really the worst team in the AFC is probably the Texans. Maybe the Broncos. I'm not a Bronco guy. Some people think the Raiders are going to be that bad. I don't believe so. But do you really want Williams to end up on an AFC team? I mean, for Christ's sakes, the conference is already loaded. You got Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow already in the conference. Josh Allen, who I'm not that high on, but a lot of you are. Trevor Lawrence in the conference. They don't need another stud, dynamic young quarterback like Justin Herbert in the AFC. He needs to play for an NFC team. That's why teams like the Cardinals are going to go full tank mode. I think you see the Rams go full tank mode. Tampa Bay, with their quarterback situation, is definitely going full tank mode. But here's the issue. Before you go out there and do all that tanking, Caleb Williams has already said, hey, I may come back to USC next year. And you may think, oh, well, he's a seven-figure NIL guy. He get an Angel Reese type bag. He get an Arch Manning, Shedeur Sanders type bag. He could come back, Southern California, great weather, maybe win a Heisman, maybe win 3 Heisman trophies. But let's be honest. Caleb Williams is not threatening to go back to USC because he wants to get NIL money when he could be #1 draft pick and make plenty of real money in the NFL. Caleb Williams is threatening to go back to school because Caleb Williams wants to call the shot on who he plays for next season. Caleb Williams is the type of athlete that does not want to be constricted or to a draft spot or who gets the first pick. Arizona Cardinals select Caleb Williams. No, Caleb Williams is going to come differently. Caleb Williams is going to try to choose where he plays. Smart man would know to avoid the AFC, avoid Patrick Mahomes, avoid Lamar Jackson, avoid Joe Burrow, avoid Justin Herbert. Get yourself to the NFC. Not the Cardinals, though. Excuse me, almost cursed. Don't finagle yourself. Oh, I want to go to an NFC team and go to the Cardinals. Nah, go to a legacy franchise. Go to the Green Bay Packers. Go to a coastal team like the Rams. Why would Sean McVay come back to coach this terrible team? They already won a championship. They ran through their salary cap. I think McVay sees a bigger prize. Maybe I get Caleb Williams, start winning championships with him. Caleb Williams in Los Angeles would be terrific. Remember, before Roger Goodell, there was Paul Tagliabue. Paul Tagliabue was asked, what was the NFL's biggest issue? He said, we got an LA problem. Now, we do got 2 teams in LA now, the Chargers and the Rams are Super Bowl champion, but the NFL still has an LA problem. When those teams play, it's other people fans in the stands. But if you get Caleb Williams in a Ram uniform, oh boy, now we're cooking. Now we got a big-time quarterback, a big-time head coach playing in a big-time city. So, yeah, if Caleb Williams and his crew say, listen, we're not going to play for the Cardinals, Roger Goodell ain't going to do nothing because Roger Goodell don't want him in Arizona. Roger Goodell wants him in a place, either a coastal big market team or with a legacy type franchise like the Broncos or the Packers or the Commanders even. A legacy franchise, not the Arizona Cardinals. You know what? Just about every team in the NFC outside of Philadelphia Eagles would have to consider taking Caleb Williams if they got the first pick. The Cowboys would, the Commanders would, and the Giants would. Tampa definitely. If Jordan Love is a bust, Green Bay would. Justin, if the Chicago Bears, who won 3 games last year, get the first pick of this year's draft, Justin Fields' ass is out of there. Atlanta would take him. Carolina may hold on to their young quarterback, depending on how this season goes. But I don't want Frank Reich nowhere near Caleb Williams. QB1 deserves better than that. Truth of the matter is this. This is a collegiate athlete that has the power to call his shot. Expect him to do it. He's already hinted to the fact that he's going to call his shot by saying, I may go back to college. He's not going back to college to get $4.5 million of NIL money. No, he's going to go back to college because he's threatening you, setting you up that he is going to call his shot on where he wants to play. Eli Manning did it, and watch Caleb Williams do it as well. Now, in other college football news, this is a big weekend. College football getting ready to start. Got a massive top 10 showdown on Sunday night between LSU and Florida State. I like LSU to win the game. Give me LSU on the money line and the under 56.5. But the big story in college football this weekend is not about the top 10 battle on Sunday night. You know what it's about. Give me my theme music. Saturday afternoon, big noon kickoff on Fox. Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime run onto the field in Fort Worth to take on the TCU Horned Frogs, the team that was a national championship runner-up last year, the team that got their ass kicked by the Georgia Bulldogs. Coach Prime came in that building months ago and said, I'm bringing my luggage and it's Louis. All-time roster turnover. Can Coach Prime get it done? I'm not the kind of dude that's going to bet against Deion Sanders. He's already been to Jackson State and won. Well, that's only Jackson State. He said he was going to come in here and turn this roster over. He came in here and he turned the roster over. Do I think Colorado's going to be in a national championship? Let's not get crazy. Do I think Colorado is going to contend in the Pac-12 and try to get a college football playoff berth? Let's not get carried away. But I do think they're good enough to win 5 or 6 games and be a bowl team this year. I do think they're going to be competitive. I do think Coach Prime is going to prove that he belongs. When the Colorado Buffaloes say they coming, I believe they coming. And we get a chance to watch the greatest show in college football in just a couple of short days. So definitely look forward to that. Once again, everybody, I want to remind you, the executive newsletter, absolutely free to register and subscribe to. You get that Sunday morning rundown. It's free to subscribe here too on this YouTube channel if you haven't done that already. And for those of you who want to get involved in the Survivor contest, hit that link in the description, Splash Sports Survivor Contest. You can win over $1,000 in that joint right there just by picking one team a week. It sounds easy, but it's very difficult to do. And if you think you can do it, I would like you to rock with your boy. We're building a community, a wagertainment community. That's what the Executive Network is. It's a wagertainment community where we pump out sports content to entertain and inform the people of the community. I'm just happen to be the host, the leader, right? But it all goes down without y'all. I'm the bus driver, but y'all are the main people in the community. So I want everybody to have a good weekend, even though I'll probably be back tomorrow. You definitely get some content out there. No basketball today, but you do got some basketball coming up tomorrow on my man Scoop B. Going to talk to him about some offseason movements. And they got a treat for y'all coming up next week. My man Emery Hunt, we'll get together. We'll preview the upcoming NFL season. All right, everybody. Executive Decisions with your boy Corey Parsons, the Fantasy Executive. If you had not yet done so, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you have done so already, I appreciate that. And so do my beautiful children.